Well, hello there, the Bears. Welcome. My name is Dave Bila. Welcome to today's new edition of News and Views, broadcast by Access LaPorte County on Public Access TV Channel 99. We are a weekly public opinion program addressing local, state, and national topics and issues of interest to the Michigan City and surrounding areas. Opinions are the views and the responsibilities of those making the comments and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views of this program. Or it's welcome back, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Or it's co-producers. We will adhere to broadcast rules, but absolutely no one's First Amendment rights or freedom of speech or freedom of the press will be either muzzled nor denied. That issue came up with the city council meeting, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, what actually happened and who's trying to muzzle who. Any unauthorized use of the accounts, descriptions, and events without the express written consent of Larry Curly Schmo is strictly prohibited. We hope you enjoy the program, the discussion, and the participants. Ladies and gentlemen, before I jump into the fray, Bob, welcome back. Yay! The floor is yours.
Oh, I get to start. Well, I'm going to start with the governor of the state of Indiana, Michael Braun, has been on national TV now 2 days in a row. Now, the first day he was on TV had to do with the state of Indiana having the lowest prices for gasoline in the entire nation. Now, how did that happen?
That's not good, Bob.
I'm just telling you, it's on national TV.
It's not good.
Now,
he pulled the gas tax again, right?
Yes.
Folks, you're going to be paying. You might like it today.
He's taking the gas tax out of reserves that have been collected over the last 16 years.
You're going to pay.
So as a result of that, we have the money available to do this. He's using it. Now, the only difference was one station had it at 63 cents a gallon, the reduction. Another one had it at 68. Do some calculations and you're going to find that the difference is one station just looked at the gas tax reduction. They didn't take into effect the sales tax reduction because of the gas tax reduction. And the sales tax reduction is just over about 4.3, 4.4 cents. So when you put the two together, it's about a 68 cent per gallon reduction that a lot of people badly need. And I'm going to talk about the situation on average straight time hourly wages when I get to the labor job, the jobs report.
I don't like it. I don't like the gas tax one bit, but you're going to pay. Don't think you're getting out of this. You're going to pay. Your roads are going to turn to crap, or they're going to raise your taxes.
Wait till the sanitary bill goes up $100 a month.
Just watch. This money's not.
I just love the two Democrats next to me.
Bob.
There is nothing good in this entire country. All they can do is sit here and complain when things are going well. Okay.
Wait. Okay. We'll predict the future here. How much will they raise the fees? The Republicans will raise the fees on your gas once they find out how much money you lost when the gas goes back down. I will bet you they'll raise it 10%.
They're going to take it. They are going to take it. We are over the amount of money that we have historically needed for reserves. As a result of that, they're taking that money out of the reserves.
They shouldn't have taken it in the first place. I think. Go ahead.
Well, and what, we're just going to sit there and not use it? We got people.
They should give it back.
Time out. We got people that need to drive to work.
They should give the money back.
We got people that need to drive to the doctors. We got people that need that money in terms of what they're paying for gasoline, and that's a real boost to just about all of us.
And we've got 46% of the residents of Michigan City living at or below the poverty level.
And that's why they need the gas tax.
Wait a minute. We could ask this as Democrats, right? Why is the gas up? Oh, because Trump started a war.
Okay, now, we started a war over a country that for 47 years has been telling us they're going to nuke us.
Right or wrong.
Welcome back, Bob. Welcome back.
The Republicans started a war.
You're making your show livelier.
Well, in that case, that FDR started a war, for crying out loud.
I'm not a fan of FDR either.
Okay, now, for the second day.
Welcome back.
The Chicago Bears have announced
The Bears.
that the board of directors for the Chicago Bears has announced that they are going to go forward with a project that will include a domed stadium in Hammond, Indiana. Now, this is just the basic drawings, probably looking at the surrounding area, doing soil borings and this type of thing, but it is a start on this project. We'll see what happens, because there's only two places left. They can go to Arlington Heights, or they can come to Indiana and Hammond, and right now it tends to look like Hammond is the best answer for the Chicago Bears.
Don't agree.
The governor has had a strong hand in this, as has, I can give credit to both a Republican and a Democrat. The Republican governor has had a strong hand in this, as has the Democrat mayor of Hammond, Thomas McDermott, generally been somebody who's
Oh, yeah.
been very positive
Oh, he's going to make
for Hammond.
that's a defining moment in his political life and career.
Well, it's one of them. He's had some really good ones.
Yeah.
So as a result of that, it looks like we're in the running for that, which would be a huge boost for Northwest Indiana. Let's hope that keeps coming. This would be a huge long-term positive for Northwest Indiana and for the state of Indiana. I understand that the governor has been in discussions with the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts have said, yes, this will be very synergetic for both teams. You're going to see a lot of people going down to Indianapolis when the Colts play the Bears in Indianapolis. You're going to see a lot of people coming up to Northwest Indiana when the Colts play the Bears in Hammond.
I don't agree there's only two options. I still think, let me give it a 30-30-30 on either site. I still think Chicago, Soldier Field is still in play. I think the Bears, and I'm very happy the Bears, and you said, made the vote to move forward because the Bears were caught bluffing. They were bluffing the state of Indiana. They were bluffing the state of Illinois. They were bluffing at Arlington Heights. They were bluffing everyone. When you play poker, they got called on their bluff. And the state of Illinois says, nope, we're calling your bluff. We're not voting for it. That put them in a bind that they had to do something. That was the smartest thing they could do. I didn't think they'd do it. The smartest thing to do was the board of directors voted to make Hammond their choice. Now, I don't think it's over. I don't think it's over by a long
Well,
shot.
I don't either.
Because now what's Governor Pritzker going to do? Come on TV? Oh, I guess he already said something today about it.
Yeah,
What's he going to do? Come on TV and say, I bollocks this up? You know, he's running for president. I don't think he's got a chance, but he's running for president. I think he wants something else in the next administration when it changes over to the president. But what's he going to say? We bollocks it up. We screwed it up. The Bears have gone to Indiana. That's not going to happen. And I still think that the Chicago vote is going to keep the Bears Dome Stadium at Soldier Field. And I think this was their calling the bluff. I don't know how far over they're going to go, because we said before, they did soil testing, they did surveys, they did site analysis. They spent millions and millions of dollars in Indiana. Thank you very much. Now they're going to spend tens of millions and millions of dollars to make it look like they're not bluffing. But I still think when it all boils down, they'll stay in Soldier Field. We'll see.
We'll see. I happen to disagree with that, but I think if Indiana doesn't get it, I think it's going to be Arlington Heights. But that's just my choice. Now, the jobs report. In the month of May,
Oh, yeah.
we created 172,000
Oh, yeah.
new jobs.
Oh, yeah.
172,000 people working that were not working before. But just as important, and what went little noticed, was for the months of March and April, they undervalued the amount of jobs that were created. You put those 2 months together, and we created another 90,000 jobs.
Was it a Six Sigma beat?
I'm sorry?
There's a Six Sigma beat of what they thought. It was huge.
Yeah, well, anyway, they created another 90,000. So together, you're looking at 262,000 jobs over March, April, and May. Now, that left the unemployment rate at 4.3%. Now, here's where we have to look at LaPorte County in the national average.
Yeah, we need to start getting some of this.
The average hourly earnings went up 12 cents per hour. This is nationwide. But the average hourly earnings are at $37.53, well above the average in LaPorte County. So when you start complaining about this and that, start thinking about how do we get these average hourly earnings up? By employers that pay really good salaries. Now, in addition to that, we're also going to have the academics in our school systems that they can employ the people from Michigan City. And with that, I'll pass back.
Yeah, you have to ask.
I'll pass back temporarily to my two Democrats.
Do you want a quick average salary boost, or you want a long-term salary boost?
I want
Because
both.
we're going to talk about.
Time out, I want both.
You can't. It seems like you're willing to take the short-term candy and forget about the steak and potatoes.
No, I'm not
20
forgetting
years
about the
now.
steak and potatoes. I want to do both.
Because LaPorte City has what's it say? What's it say? LaPorte, the city and Microsoft. This is the city of LaPorte negotiated an unprecedented tax agreement where the company voluntarily pays property taxes in full without abatements.
Bob don't believe that.
15%
No,
directed
I-
straight
Bob
to
don't-
the community school
Bob don't believe that.
corporation, and the rest allocated to the city's redevelopment committee. So Michigan City, and this is what LaPorte City did, unprecedented. So LaPorte got Microsoft to give their money directly to these two entities. Michigan City negotiated a tax abatement for 40 years, and it looks like Michigan City is going to get in the order of maybe $100 million less than the city of LaPorte. So do you want a quick hit, or do you want the meat and
This is
potatoes
from-
for 30
wait
years?
a minute.
That agreement was
Time.
negotiated under an NDA.
Wait a minute.
Okay, period.
This-
I'm sure this was.
This
too.
is from,
I'm
this
sure
is,
Tom's was too.
time out. This is from the same two people who told me that downtown LaPorte had a better retail district than downtown Michigan City. Now, all you have to do is drive over to LaPorte, drive down Lincoln Way, and take a look at their retail district versus driving down Franklin Street
LaPorte
and
is an
taking a
old-
look at our retail district. The same two people who told me flat out retail was better in LaPorte.
That's nothing
That
more than
was
that's nothing
absolutely
more than
the
hot
total
air.
screw
We
up.
are looking at we are addressing the city of Michigan City and the
You're
value
not talking
between
about the retail district when you told me that LaPorte was better off than Michigan
On
City.
a
Now we're about to go into the same
LaPorte doesn't
thing.
have what Michigan City has. They don't have
Well,
421
it
and
took you
94.
3 months to say that.
But LaPorte is doing gangbusters better than Michigan City.
correct.
Oh, yeah, right. If that's the case, how come they keep sending their people over here that are homeless? LaPorte ought to be taking care of all these people then. We could start with the ones they're
That's
sending
right.
over to Walmart.
That's why they're doing better, because they're shipping them back to Michigan City and South Bend.
Okay, go ahead. We'll have some answers.
Yeah, so the LaPorte negotiated agreement, and you're right, Microsoft is bigger than our Google, but it looks like they're going to get 100 million more, so that's why I asked, do you want 50 million now, or would you like 200 million in 20 years? Because we've
In 40
negotiated
years,
agreement.
the tax abatement
We've
goes-
negotiated a 40-year
Yeah.
tax abatement, and looks like LaPorte's going to have a lot more money. Now, LaPorte doesn't have what Michigan City has. They don't have 421. They don't have 94. They don't have Highway 20. They don't have the
That's our
Michigan.
fault. That's our fault. They're the county seat.
But-
But they got these stupid signs up that now they're going to have a police patrol car going around, and anybody that parks for more than 2 hours
Oh, they did.
now at the courthouse in LaPorte is going to get fined. Michigan City, you can park right there, no problem.
Well, I guess Michigan
Because-
City can't put a patrol car on parking duty because they got, what, 4, 5, 6 police sitting out in front of the high school every morning. We got a problem.
Well, they got a problem. They've got the same problems in LaPorte. Okay, go ahead.
No, Tony, keep going.
We got. Anyway, so let's go a little bit different here, because here's the Michigan City, and this is coming up. Public input on the Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan 2026. You can download this, the CDBG, it's what they call it. And all I want to bring out, because it's, and if the planning director, I can't remember her name, did this, kudos to you, it's a very good report.
Vachette.
No, this other lady, she's a planning director, I can't remember. She did a good job, it's a real nice report. I hope we did this in-house, if I did.
Wendy Vachette?
No, this other lady.
Planning Director Rhonda Anderson?
Rhonda.
Okay.
Did a good job. It's very, very nice done. I hope somebody didn't pay somebody. But when we last week, the CDBG, Community Development Block Grant, you can read the plan. It's 40-some pages. And I talked about how you get these grants and how they cost a lot of money. All I want to say is the money we have to help the poor and needy in our town and the people who need their houses fixed up, we're going to pay 20% of that, $130,000 just for administration. So we get these grants, guys, and 20% goes to administration. That means that doesn't go to painting people's houses, getting people a place to live, feeding them, clothing them, which is what the CDBG does. So we've got these grants, and they're great, but you're going to spend $130,000 on administration.
The city of LaPorte is a recipient of a $1 million grant from the state of Indiana to improve low to moderate income housing in the
And
city.
they really needed it. All you had to do was drive down where the courthouse is, make a turn going east, and you can look at dilapidated houses
Yeah.
that you can't let anybody live in.
Yeah, I'm just
LaPorte
saying-
badly needed
I'm
that
just saying
because they
that-
didn't tear down the houses
Okay.
when they should have.
I'm just saying
I
that the
don't think
city
you
of
should tear
LaPorte
houses down.
applied for this grant and was granted this grant.
And they
The
needed
city of
it.
Michigan
I agree.
City also applied for this similar grant and they got diddly squat so far.
I don't
The
like
mayor
that.
is talking about,
Because we've been taking care of that as it went along. LaPorte didn't. They've got these squalor houses now. They've got to come down. I'll take you right down the streets you can look
You
at.
shouldn't be tearing these houses down. We could fix them up.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
what are they talking
There are
about?
some of them you can't fix up.
Oh, you can fix up houses. They're talking about entry-level houses at what? $300,000, $400,000. Those are not entry-level houses.
No, they're not.
And that's what everyone's saying these houses are. And I don't know where we got to this point. It is out of control. When an entry-level affordable house is $300,000, that's not affordable to me. Not in a million years. And that's what we're setting these people up for, a complete failure. Because if the subsidies go away, they can't afford those mortgages. That's why you could get one of these houses, you could give these houses away. They're doing it in Detroit. They're giving these houses away and people are fixing up. And you say they can't be real. You should see the houses they're fixing up in Detroit. These things are half burned down and they're fixing them back up. Because a new house is $300,000 or $400,000. If you stuck $100,000 into an existing house, you're going to have a pretty nice place. So
In-
why are we tearing them down?
In LaPorte or Michigan.
Michigan, both. Pick the near west side. Pick some places on the east side. Take a house that maybe they'll give you 10 grand for. Maybe the city should give it to you as long as you can show you can put 100 or 150,000 into it. It'd be like a brand new house. It'd be very nice. But no, we're tearing them down. We're putting them in the landfill. We're leaving these vacant lots. I think it's wrong.
okay, going back to comparing LaPorte and Michigan City. Mayor Tom Dermody, the city official, finalized a heavily revised written property tax agreement with Microsoft. Okay? How many revised agreements have we had with Google? Nothing.
Well, he had an agreement until the county came in and
But I'm just saying-
pulled a fast one
I'm-
on him.
But I'm-
and then he had to make a new agreement.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that they renegotiated an agreement. We have maybe a negotiated agreement under an NDA under the wing of the mayor. We would like to know what the hell's going
Well, I
on.
think Tom had an NDA too before he released it public.
But it's released.
Yes.
It's
And
released.
it looks like Michigan City has, which, great for the county. Michigan City, they say have a $57 million, the Google is gonna get $57 million, and the city's gonna get $27 million, the county's gonna get $20 million. So, hooray for the county, they're gonna get $20 million.
That's part of the taxes I pay. Hopefully that's going to pay for some county police officers.
I would hope it would pay for police officers and pothole-ridden roads, because you look at the way the winter did to our roads, and they do it every year.
Yeah.
They're really hitting hard. That's why I want to go back to the gas tax. You think it's great now for paying low gas? You're going to pay. That bill is going to come due, and the problem is it's going to come due at a deflated rate. They're putting, and they talked about this in the General Assembly. They had to set aside, 300 projects in Indox. They didn't have enough money. And the governor wanted to spend $1 billion on a bypass in Jasper. And then he goes and he takes away the gas tax. And I hate the gas tax. I think it's outrageously
Wait
high.
a minute, he has diesel, not gasoline. But
No, I have gasoline, but it's way high. But don't think you're not going to pay for it. And you're going to pay it at an inflated rate, because pavement and tar are not getting any cheaper. Labor's not getting any cheaper. So putting off roads probably 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you think you saw potholes now? Get ready.
I will take the gas tax reduction right now and get us through this situation. Later on, you're going to find that we still have the reserves to make up for what the gas tax exemption cost us, and do what we need to do for the roads and for our highways.
Okay, so logically,
Because we're going to get it from the people with diesel. Because we're going to get it
Yeah.
from the people with diesel.
So
They didn't take the tax off diesel.
if you're logically saying we have more than 2 billion in reserve, and we can reduce the gas tax.
We do have 2 million.
Okay, so if we can reduce the gas tax and still be fine, why don't we just lower the taxes, period? Why would we build it back up? If everything's fine and we can reduce it, keep it reduced.
Because where we're gonna collect that money is on these 18, 24-wheelers that are coming through Indiana and burning diesel. And they're gonna pay that tax. It's only on gasoline, which is what the average person is driving around. It's not on the 18-wheelers, the 24-wheelers, or the people driving around in these very large trucks that run on diesel.
And I don't want
They
to,
will be paying the consequences.
I don't want to be, I don't know, negative to the Bears, because boy, I hope the Bears come.
Well, I do too.
But how much money, how many billions, I'm talking billions with a B, are we going to pay to update the infrastructure on the Borman and Hammond and Indianapolis Boulevard? Because when you have a big venture like that, you're going to pay. You know, that cost is coming. And then the fees, and since Michigan City is kind of on the edge of the region, again, you're going to pay. Those fees are coming here. Your hotel fees, your food, restaurant fees, they're coming.
For the people that live here, they will not pay the hotel fee.
You will pay the restaurant fee.
People coming up from Indianapolis to watch the Bears play the Colts, they will pay the hotel.
What's that fee in Indy?
And that will, what?
Indy has a restaurant and tax fee.
Yeah,
You'll pay that here in Michigan City?
if you have the money to
You
go
watch.
down.
Mark my words.
If you have the money to go down and get tickets, now the poor people like me,
No,
that
when
will
you're
watch
in-
the game on TV,
No.
will not have to pay any
When
of
you're
those
in
fees.
Marion County and you're a restaurant, you're paying that
A
fee.
lot of us will be very happy to watch the game on TV. We will not be paying any of
You'll
those
pay that
fees.
restaurant fee.
Thank you.
You'll pay that restaurant fee at Chili's or McDonald's or wherever. That fee's coming. You'll see.
I've got 2 grandkids that are very good cooks. I'm not worried.
Okay,
about
and
it.
we allowed those two to argue over the Bears. I've been on a pet project for 50-some years, and I want to bring out facts to the people of Michigan City who pay taxes and get no services from the sanitary district. According to a report put out, a joint workshop, Michigan City Sanitary District and Michigan City Common Council and us, the public, we were muzzled. We were not able to speak our piece at the meeting. We were shut down. I want to point out that in this report, it talks about 9.53 miles of legal drains here in Michigan City. Well, I've got a report here that there are more than 9.15 miles of drains in Michigan City. There is, in actuality, there's almost there are 11.97 miles of drainage, and this does not include the White Ditch in the northeast
Now, are we
corner of the city of
talking
Michigan
about
City.
ditches, or are we talking about?
We're talking about legal drains.
Legal drains, court drains.
Court drains, legal drain. This is a document.
That's a ditch.
This is,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a ditch.
Well, some of them are filled. Some of them are piped.
Okay.
Ditches aren't all.
but the see, these guys interrupt my mindset. What I'm saying is a portion. There is a map here. There is a map here that I presented to Bob a while back. And I talked about how much of the West Side Moraine is included in the Trail Creek watershed. And a good portion of the West Side Moraine is included in a watershed because the Michigan City West Side primarily lies within the Trail Creek watershed, specifically the West Branch of Trail Creek sub-watershed hydrological unit, and there's a series of numbers, which spans roughly 15.340 acres. This is the area that has been ignored by the City of Michigan City Sanitary District for the last 20 years. Now, you the taxpayers out there who live in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Ward, as well as the other wards of Michigan City, are paying for sewer, water sewer remediation, of which this area, this 15.434 miles, do not have stormwater at all located. They talk about how many miles of storm sewers, 110 miles of storm sewers, but none of them, none of the 110 miles of storm sewers reside in the west side of Michigan City because it's been ignored by the sanitary district for the last 20 years. I'm just saying that if you're taxed by the county that reverts to the city of Michigan City, then reverts to the sanitary district, don't you think you deserve to get what your taxes are supposed to go for? And nobody seems to care, oblivious to it. For an example, I made a phone call to the Michigan City Sanitary District a couple days ago. And I talked to Chris Yagelski, who transferred me to L. Wallace. And I stayed on the phone for 5 minutes, waiting. I stayed and I waited. 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. You know what I hear? Click.
I have a suggestion that I think will be good with both sides. Your problem, Dave, is that now you have to start a petition drive. Now, if you're serious about getting storm sewers into the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th wards, you need petitions. This is how things like this are done. You're going to have to get 3, 4, 5 different people to take petitions around into the 3rd, 4th, and 5th wards. You're going to have to be dealing with people who do not have storm sewers, who have sanitary sewers that back up on them when we have large storms, and they have to sign petitions. That's how you will get the sanitary board's attention. You get, let's say, 2,000 signatures on that petition, you will get their attention. And I've been through this, although it was 50 plus years ago, I had no problem getting their attention. I can assure you, you will again. But you got to start. You can't just sit here and complain about it. You got to start. You got to get on your cane. You got to start walking. And you got to get 4 or 5 other people to do the same. You count city council people to start with.
You got to get the 3 council members
Yeah.
on the record
Yes.
to be asking for their wards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they don't, which is an election next year, then I guess they won't be city council members anymore.
Well, they might be. Maybe people don't care.
Maybe
We'll
don't
find
care.
out. Maybe you go up with them a petition and they won't sign it. We'll find
Well,
out.
the city
if they
council
can.
members should be helping you
Yes.
get this petition.
Yeah.
And if they don't,
And I get absolutely no help from the city council.
the 3 ward council people should be helping you. I'm looking at the watershed map because you showed me a watershed map and something funny happened. And
It's there.
This is just technical stuff. But here's the watershed map you brought in, which it's historical and it really matches really close to the watershed. And technology has gotten a lot better. But the new watershed map I'm looking for somehow eats all the way across 421 and encompasses a whole bunch more that's not in the watershed. Somehow they've taken a portion of the west side and they've amalgamated over to the east side.
Are you looking, maybe are you looking
And-
at that map?
And I don't know if they did that because in Michigan City, it first started with, what is that, the Lafayette Barker area, right? That was a ditch and had little swales and bridges and a Wabash and York Street. And you go down there and and by the Dairy Queen, the old Al's, you can see it, Ainsfield, you can see it. That's where the break went east and west. And now the new map shows that all in the east.
Are you looking at, this is,
I'm looking at the watersheds. But in Michigan City, they ran a pipe, and I've seen a pipe, 30-some feet deep, through the hill east of the cemetery, and ran that over to
East of the Greenwood Cemetery?
east of the Greenwood cemeteries. And they ran over, they drained that, because that's what they did back in the 50s and 60s, and they drained all that water, which didn't work well, but it worked good enough, to the east, out of the watershed. They transferred water from one watershed to another. And it looks like, and this is not the sanitary, this is a state GIS. You go to Indiana Map Viewer, you can look at it, you click on the watershed, you can see it. Looks like they've changed that watershed, and I know because I've downloaded the watersheds in the past 20 years, so I have every version. And they've changed it because they know that the water, that we are piping it and pushing it over to the east. It naturally doesn't want to go there. It naturally wants to go to the west.
Well, they probably-
What was that? The Calumet River water. That's what they call it. There's the Calumet River watershed and there's the Trail Creek watershed. We're talking about the Calumet because that is everything on the west. But that map has changed. And I don't fault the sanitary district, but in their report, they're showing this new map, and that's not That's not the natural watershed.
Well, when you're talking about pushing it from west to east, are we talking about just storm sewers? Or are we talking about just
It
sanitary
was
sewers?
both, but now it's just a storm.
So it's the
So
storm
they've
sewer.
separated, well, Lafayette Barker's not separated.
Okay,
But they have a big storm sewer that runs north of the Greenwood Cemetery, and it runs over towards Queens. You know, the ditch down there with the soccer field. That's where they're running this water all the way, and you could look at Indian Map Viewer, you could click on high res, not classified layer, and you could see all the storm sewers in Michigan City in which they go. You can look at the whole
well, I
state.
can tell you this, because when I was a kid, I would walk it along with a number of other guys. If you start at Woodland Avenue, which is where Queens is now built, this was before Queens Park Apartments, there is a stream that runs underneath.
Yeah, yeah.
And what that does, it dumps into Clay Pit. So what they're doing is maybe, you'd have to check this out, dumping that stormwater into Clay Pit.
Oh yeah, well I can't remember, what run is that on the east side? And there's a whole study.
But Joe Doyle lives in that area because I talked to Joe pertaining to adjacent to his property, standing water. And he's talking about that ditch, but specifically what it's called, I don't remember.
So we as engineers and designers in Michigan City have forced the water to go east because that was the point, that path of least resistance. And I mean, it's amazing the path of least resistance was 30 foot of pipe. And you go out, I can't remember street over there, and we've looked at the manhole, and I had so much range pull, it's too deep to get down there. It's so deep, and it wasn't even enough slope to get the Lafayette, Barker, York, Decatur Street area to drain. It was really flat. So now we built that $13 million tunnel, which is in there, and they would like to use that. But I thought that, and you know, bless his heart, and John Doyle did a good job redesigning that undercuss to have an outlet to the Michigan City Sanitary District. So, but we're going to spend. They want to spend $100 million. Your sewer
That's
bill's
what I'm
gonna-
leading up to.
Your sewer's going to go. Bill's going to be somewhere under $100 a month, I guess. Get ready.
This concept, allowing Mother Nature to dewater the west side, is going to cost a hell of a lot less money to accomplish
Then Lafayette Barker.
than Lafayette Barker.
Through a $13 million. The tunnel's already there. We've already paid for it. It's sitting there. It's got some water in it. It's got no outlet. It's got some inlets.
Yeah.
It's just sitting in the ground. And that's another thing where we try, and that tunnel has got to be more than 30 foot deep, because we went through the other moraine over there by Elston. We went through that Lafayette Hill. And we keep ignoring the west or the Calumet side where Mother Nature wants it to go. Mother Nature always intended it to go west, but somehow we think it's in our best interest to keep forcing it north and east. And we keep spending money after money and money after money to force it to another direction.
And the reason why I'm bringing up this issue, because when you approach a potential voter and you tell that voter that voter is being taxed on a service then that voter is not benefiting one iota of the money that he spends, that's a election issue. And if you've got the residents of the city council people of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Ward becoming aware of this concept, and they don't get the representation from the city council person that represent them, that brings a question. Do these people really represent the taxpayers that reside in the wards that they represent?
How many members are there? 7?
9
Nine.
members.
9 members of city council?
6 wards, 3 at large.
Well, 3 of them would be 30%. I think you'd have some weight.
Well, plus
Push your weight around.
Plus the 3 ward council people.
Well, yeah, 3 and your 3 general ones. You think you'd push some weight around and say, sanitary district, and they can't really do anything about it because in Indiana, the sanitary district brings their budget to city council, and even if they say no, it doesn't matter. It's just perfunctory. They could say we don't like any part of your budget. Now, I think they might have some say in the rate structure.
They do.
So they could say, no, we're not raising any rate structure, so you spend the money over on the west side. They could, and I don't know why. Even if the 3, as a politician, right, 3 politicians here, even if you thought you were going to lose the argument, if you said that in a city council meeting, I think everyone would be happy. And even if they voted you down, at least you tried.
Well, I attended the last city council meeting specifically for one reason, and that was to rebuff the city council president on third reading, trying to eliminate public comment from the city council everyday function. She wanted to streamline public comment. She wanted to basically muzzle the residents of Michigan City who pay for those individuals, those 9 individuals sitting up on a city council dais, and basically she wanted them to vote on her ordinance to remove public comment from a city council meeting. I was there prepared, but I didn't have to say anything because she withdrew indefinitely her ordinance. She must have heard the writing on the wall. For the last 13 or 14 years, I made a statement here. Opinions are the views and the responsibilities of make the comments and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views of this program or its producers. We will adhere to broadcast rules, but no one's First Amendment rights of freedom of speech or freedom of the press will be either muzzled nor denied. I'm not pointing any individual title on them, but that was on the verge of socialism, preventing the public from speaking at a public meeting on a specific issue that they deemed worthwhile to bring to the city council's attention. She wanted to stop that. Okay, that's what we got going on, ladies and gentlemen, and with the current city council. They're not listening. Well, maybe she listened because she withdrew her ordinance. And when you table it indefinitely, what that means, it's sort of dead. But it never should have been brought up in the first place, gentlemen.
Well, yeah, when we have an election next year. Next year in the primary, which people are going to start running here late this year. This is June, so you guess like September, October, some city council people are going to run in, and the Republicans did it to their people. They knocked their people out in the primary, and I guarantee the Democrats are going to do it in the city election. They're going to see people lose their seats because of all these things going on. Yeah, I agree with Bob. We're getting $27 million, which is great. I'd rather have 100, but if these people are not exerting their authority as council and helping, and I don't mean to be mean or push in a bad way, but helping lead the way to more money, or telling that we need to spend some money over here on the west side, or personally I think we need to wipe out the redevelopment commission and take that money and pay for police and get things done, because we need maintenance now. If these people, these elected officials, council and mayor, have a primary next year, and we're going to see if Michigan City, like you said, if you had to get a petition, or if Michigan City stands up and says, listen, we don't like this, we want things done, and they're going to vote. We'll see.
Well, one of the things, and I'll talk about this some more, it's a theory, but right now for state and local governments in Indiana, they are organized financially around the budgetary system, which leaves little room for long-term planning and long-term thinking.
Right.
Now, I can go more into this, and I will, but for right now, let me just say that what happens then on boards, they tend to, because they don't have the abilities to do the kinds of long-term thinking that needs to be done, nor do they have the authorization to do it, because their authorization is in budgetary hearings. We go through those once a year. And what I mean by that is you have to bring the budget up for what will be the next fiscal year. We start January 1 through December 31st. We tend to work on the budget in July and August in those particular areas. And as a result of that, what you get is here it is taking the chart of accounts, going through the revenues and the expenses, some people would say expenditures, and looking at where are the variances. Variances in each account. What do we need for next year? And you get a lot of discussion about what do we need for next year. You don't get much discussion about what do we need 5 years and 10 years from now.
You can't. I would agree, except, and this is where I'm going to go against what I've been talking about, the rainy day fund. Michigan City and the state of Indiana allows people to have a rainy day fund if we had good leadership that people can look forward 5, 10, 20 years, they would get together and the council could vote this, the mayor could sign this, and say, we're going to save, we're going to take the money and you're either going to raise your fees or we're going to take the redevelopment money, we're going to put it in the rainy day account, and we are going to vote to spend it on a project that costs $20 million in 20 years. And you're right, we don't get the opportunity in a budget, but we get the opportunity in a rainy day fund. That's why I'm going against myself. I said the state has no need for a rainy day fund, unless they took the money, the $2 billion or whatever they had, and said we're saving it so we can repave the Borman, or we can do this. And they have a project and they have a cost, and when that day comes, because we talked about this last week, I don't know if you saw, that the problem is we have elected officials that serve 4 years, some state reps serve 2, and they want their projects done in their time. So they're willing to bond and pay interest so the project gets done in their term and they get the kudos. But I agree, we don't have that in the budget, but we have the rainy day fund. The council could pass an ordinance, the mayor could sign it, and says we need to spend $30 million in water maintenance infrastructure costs. We're going to raise the fees to whatever they're going to raise them. We're going to put it in the rainy day fund, and that amount, what X dollars, say $30 million, will be spent as soon as that account hits that amount. We will go out for the job. But we refuse.
Well, what I'm going to do with this is, first of all, we got school board elections coming up in the fall. The school board candidates need to talk about what are we going to do to bring up the academic achievements of the students in that school system. Now, we've talked about the Mississippi plan for a number of times on this program. But understand that the Mississippi plan actually took 10 years because they started with the 3rd grade. And by the time they got the people in the 3rd grade to be able to read and do math at the 3rd grade standard, then they could move forward. They go through the 4th grade. So the next group that comes in gets the 3rd grade, they can do that. Now you got a group in the 4th and the 5th grade. By the time they get the entire school system through, it's 10 years. So as a result of that, we got to start hearing about what these people want to do for the school board over the course of the next 10 years and how they plan to do this. The same goes for what Dave has been talking about for years and years. The only difference is Dave talks about cleaning out the ditches and all that. I think we need to look at the areas where they don't have storm sewers, and I'm sure that the sanitary district has the bonded availability to take those storm sewers and put them in those areas.
No bonds, please, no more bonds. We can save the money up and pay.
Well, however we do it,
We don't need to bond.
you're going to have to get petitions up. You're going to probably have to have a minimum of 2,000 signatures.
First, you got to get the
to get
council
their
members
attention.
on board. The ward council members.
You got to get the council.
If they're not
members.
on board and they don't think the people care, then I guess you're just blowing in the wind.
Yeah.
Could I ask the concept from 2022 through 2025, that $32,685,486.86, could it have been created in 2022?
I don't know. The state made the rainy day fund in the last 5 or 6 years.
No, it's been back, it's over 16 years.
Okay, 6, yes, then yes.
Yeah, so
We have a
again,
rainy day fund, which I think I hate saving money because the government is not a bank. But I don't want the government out loaning and borrowing money and paying interest. So we have a rainy day that earns interest from the auditor.
So the Michigan City Redevelopment Commission, in addition to that $15+ million that they got in the bank, spent $32,685,000 and so on. They could have created this concept of putting a few, maybe 10% aside, maybe 10% aside in this revolving fund to help for future expenditures. Could it possibly been done? If far-sighted people on a city council?
I think you're getting hit twice because they have that money, and I don't think there's very few opportunities that ever happen in the city, or not just Michigan City, any government, especially redevelopment, that they didn't go out and bond. So not only did they lose
they did,
interest,
yes.
they didn't lose the interest they could have made on the $30 million, they lost the interest and they paid on the borrowing. Because Michigan City's got a bunch of bonds out there too for redevelopment. We've been hit twice with the money we could have made and the money we paid to get projects done we could have saved.
And those bonds don't expire until 2048.
So we're locked in, but I guess we could take, in my mind, as someone who financially conservative, I would take the money we don't pay to bonds, and I'd take every penny, and I would put it into the state auditor's account that allows us to gain interest, and save it and for a project. And if redevelopment, I believe the redevelopment could vote, and just like the council could vote, it says we want this project, we want to do this redevelopment project, and we were going to save until we get enough money, and then we will be allowed to spend the money.
And as it stands right now, they've got $15 million in the bank. They could take $10 million of that $15 million, invest it in this state account, and still have $5 million to play with.
But look at it this way. Now, this is one you haven't thought of. But remember, the title is Redevelopment Commission. What you're looking at when you start looking at storm sewers and sanitary sewers on the west side is basically redevelopment for the west side. And there's where you could get part of that money.
Yeah.
The language in the layout of the Redevelopment Commission's responsibility is if an area of the community had cessation of growth, okay, and if cessation of growth can be proven, which obviously it can with everything that I brought up pertaining to the west side and the lack of development on the west side and the ditches not being cleaned out and so on, the Redevelopment Commission basically is mandated to take that project on.
It's not very nice, and I didn't think we could use that term, but this 2026 plan for community development, block development, CDBG, they say that they're going to spend money to fix up the slums. It's in the report.
Let me see.
No, I didn't write that page out, but you can.
Oh, you did.
No, I want to take you guys over to LaPorte. I'm going to show you what slums are.
I thought that was not politically correct anymore, but it's in the CDBG report.
Actually, we've taken down most of our slums.
It breaks my heart. And you know this. Those buildings we took down had amazing beams in them, amazing craftsmanship, and we just bulldozed them down.
Yeah.
We just wiped them out.
You and I both know this also. It costs more, wait a minute, it costs more money to go in and take over a area that's been previously developed, maybe 100, 150 years ago, it's got these buildings on it, than it does to go to a new area.
Not if you fix them up, it does.
Yeah.
But if you fixed up the houses, and again, I think if you spend $150,000, take any of these houses that we are going to tear down and put $150,000 into it, you will have a very nice house. And it'll probably be worth $400,000.
Well, the situation now is that for the first 10 years, the people that move in, unless they really spend money to keep the place up, they can get by with not keeping it up for 10 years. It's after 10 years that it starts to go down.
It's a financial question. You know this, right? It's a financial question. I have something that needs to be torn down. It's not worth anything. The city has taken it over, and they're going to demolish it and spend $10,000 or $15,000 to demolish it. And the person that may want to redevelop it or work through it or own it and build it, they don't have the ability. No bank is going to give them $150,000 on something that looks like it should be torn down. But it could be fixed. And again, go look at Detroit. And you can even look at, it's happening in Gary too. There are some gorgeous, gorgeous houses in Gary. And I work there sometimes in the mornings for different projects. And they're hidden. And the craftsmanship is unbelievable. But they're trying now to fix them. The government's trying to back the loan for somebody to own it and fix it. Because if they put $150,000, even $200,000 in this home, it's going to be worth $400,000 the day they're done. Instead of spending $15,000 or $20,000 to tear it down and then hope you redevelop it. Because when they tear these down, that foundation's still down there. They have to dig it back out. They're not ripping the foundation out, and that's very expensive. And the water lines, the sewer lines, the gas lines, the electrics are all still down there. That's why it's expensive, the redevelopment. Instead of tearing it down, and I don't know how you do this with somebody that you're willing to loan $150,000 and they actually put it in the house and build a beautiful house and they live there. I don't know.
But you got to find the people who will do that.
Yes, it's
hard.
hard.
A lot of people won't do that.
The City of Michigan City's Redevelopment Commission has in excess of 140 vacant lots within the north end of the City of Michigan City. Okay, vacant lots.
Yeah, houses they tore down.
In order to rehabilitate those 140 vacant lots, the building codes must be complied with. The national federal building codes are so stringent that it prevents an individual without the permission of Big Brother down at City Hall to be able to have an opportunity to cut his grass. That is how strict rules and regulations are. The redevelopment commission with these lots is one thing. An individual with his own little bitty lot and he wants to improve his property, he can't because he has to jump through because of this national building code
Well,
concept.
first in Michigan City, you can't work on it unless it is your primary and you own it.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
So you
Yeah.
can't even do that.
See?
I mean, if Michigan City took one of these houses and gave it to somebody that they were going to fix up, I believe they can't even do it themselves unless they're actually there living there, which really messes up the whole
Well,
thing of
sure.
somebody who wants to work on build their house.
There are certain things now that by ordinance, I think they have to get electricians to do the electrical work and plumbers to do the plumbing.
Yeah, but according to National Building Code, a lot size has to be a certain size to accommodate a certain house. And some of these properties under the purview, under the jurisdiction of Redevelopment Commission are too small.
Yeah, they don't meet the current code.
They don't meet the current code. So what I would suggest is maybe take those 140 vacant lots and find some way to subdivide
Well,
them.
technically, they do meet the current code. If they left the foundation in the ground, Michigan City can, and no community, can say no to rebuilding that house on the foundation that's in the ground. That law was passed. They used to say if it got burned down or destroyed more than 50%, you had to rebuild and you had to meet the new setback to code. That is not true. The state code says if you want to rebuild on the current foundation that's there, you are allowed to, even though it doesn't meet, you're grandfathered in, even though it doesn't meet the setbacks and the restrictions.
Well, there were individuals attending the
If you wanted
redevelopment, talking about these tiny homes to be on these lots, and maybe somebody should go out and probe that lot to see if the foundation
The
is still
foundation's still there, you have the right to build that house again.
there.
Okay, now I'll throw one out for you guys. Right now, what's happening is the population of Michigan City is going down. Now, it has subsided to the extent that it went down over the last 50 years, but the population is still going down. We'll know more when we see
I
the
don't know how
mayor.
that's possible. All the building we're doing?
Well,
Tryon
let me
Road,
finish. Let
11th
me
Street.
finish. What we are getting is people that are coming in. Many of them are looking at Michigan City as being a situation where if it really turns bad in Chicago, and Chicago's having some real problems,
If
so
we
are
get
some
the
of the
Bears.
suburbs.
The Bears.
There's another reason why the Bears are.
We get the Bears.
The Bears.
They're buying houses here.
Well,
Uh, Yeah, and they want to buy new houses. They don't want to come over here and have problems. If they have to bail out of Chicago, they want a ready-made house. They do not want to go through the problems that you're talking about. That's why they are looking at, I'll start with Moore Road going east, because that's the area that has not been previously developed. You can build $400,000 or $500,000 houses in there. They can come in, buy one of those, and make sure that they come here 3-4 times a year. It's being kept up.
Paz Road, 20,
Yeah.
high school.
Yeah.
That's going like gangbusters. That's why I don't see how I think we're on the rise.
What you failed to tell them was the sign out there says 300,000 and up.
They're building them.
Yes.
People are living there.
People are buying them.
People are
They're
buying
getting
them.
loans. These are the kinds of houses that people are looking for. They are not looking for going through rehabilitating a house that has a basement but nothing else.
Well, they would buy it once it's rehabilitated.
Oh yeah, if you get it right. But the easy way is to buy one of these that's readily available. It's got everything they need. They're looking to, if they have I have a friend that just had a huge problem in the south side of Chicago. Water all over the place.
Oh.
They had a landline, and AT&T will not give them back their landline because AT&T wants them to get a remote phone, not a landline.
Yeah, I can see that. No phone company wants to give you a landline anymore.
No.
They do not want to give you a landline.
So anyway, but these are the things that people are
4
looking
minutes.
at. These are the kinds of houses that are being built and are sold. They are not, maybe there's not a market for it, maybe there is, maybe somebody will try it, find out there is, but I don't think there's a market for the kinds of houses you're talking
If
about.
you would, if you release some of the stringent demands on some local builders, they would rehabilitate these houses and they would flip them. And I think the people would be happy, the Chicago people who, you know, they would be happier in town than they would be out in the fringes because they could walk to the beach and they could walk to Franklin Street. That's more of their style.
Yeah.
But when we wipe these houses out, it makes it impossible to build a house on it because you just took all the good lumber and the floors that were there and you just wiped them out. I mean, even if you just had the frame left, it's still more valuable than just tearing these down.
But the population for Michigan City, in terms of numbers, not in terms of residents, I think is increasing.
I do too. I think we're on,
But wait a minute.
upslope.
But these are not being recorded as Michigan City residents. They are being recorded as Chicago residents, Indianapolis residents, Fort Wayne residents that own a house here. It's a second home. It is not something that is adding to our population.
I think we're making headway. I think the
Oh,
redevelopment
hey.
has done a great job, and it's time for them to step aside and remove themselves from the equation and let Michigan City have the money and pay their police and pay the school and let it happen organically.
That's what's going to happen with the data center, and more
Yes.
to come.
Yes. I think it's all good. We just, you know, sometimes everything's good. You have to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting down to the last 2 minutes. I attended the last two city council meetings ago when 4 members of the Michigan City Fire Department came up and addressed the city council pertaining to an issue addressing the city employees of not being able to have exceptional work, an easier work schedule because on disability or something like this. The mayor sent out a memo regarding this issue, which I initially thought it was a contractual issue, and it was not a contractual issue. It was just an issue that everybody sort of carried on. Well, anyway, I misspoke when I said the mayor was involved, other than the mayor did send this memo out questioning. So now the city employees address the city council, and the same city employees address the Michigan City Board of Works, this last Board of Works meeting. And lo and behold, the Michigan City Board of Works took it under consideration, and they addressed the issue so that people, city employees, are eligible to have low and reduced work schedule if they're on disability and so on. So things are sort of happening in Michigan City, and this will be in effect until the end of December of this year. And I'm just saying, so maybe there are somebody around town trying to take a new attitude. I want to thank everybody for watching. Your input as to improvements or criticism of the show is greatly appreciated. Please contact Show's co-producers Bob Pollock, Dave Bila, or Tony Hendricks with your comments. You can email Bob at skrpollock@gmail.com. Dave, welcome back, Bob. Dave at djbila1@hotmail.com, or Tony at emailagm@yahoo.com. Or you may direct your ideas for any future shows to our one and only staff writer via snail mail, cerebellum. Showing of our program will be Saturday morning at 10 a.m., also Monday and Thursday evening at 7 p.m. and numerous times. Sometime you might even see our show in the middle of the night. I saw it at 4:30 one morning. I want to thank everybody for watching. Oh, you may also enjoy watching our program on 99 Navigate News and Views if you want to backtrack through our 2 years worth of YouTube videos. I want to thank everybody for watching. And make it a good day.
And I want to add into that, think about a staycation in Michigan City. There's going to be fabulous things to do. The Tourist Bureau has things to do in terms of a very nice magazine in Michigan City and LaPorte County. Take advantage of it. It's a real cost savings if you can live in your house and do things on a day-by-day basis. Go through various museums, do a number of other things, and it's a real possibility. Think about a staycation in Michigan City, LaPorte County.